Sounds good.
Hola.
Hola. Tramps is going live here.
Okie dokie. We'll come watch it.
All right, you might throw it out on Facebook or something. I'm not streaming on Facebook.
Okay.
Or maybe in my Discord chat to everyone. That helps.
Okay.
All right. See ya.
See you in a bit.
Well, hey everybody. Hi Zombie, how are you? How you doing today? Getting warm in Texas, I'll tell you what. It's supposed to be 104 here today. I shut everything down as tight as I could in the RV and got both the air conditioners going. It's already getting a little warm in here, but it's been warm all week, so it really doesn't matter. Yeah, hope you guys are staying cool down there in your part of Texas. You guys hear me okay? I'm actually on my the old computer I had there at the Abbey, and I've got it hooked up here into the RV, and I thought, well, let's start streaming from it. So I haven't been on in a couple of weeks, guys. I got in here to Shamrock, Texas, which I really like this little town. It's quiet and it's cheap. As for those of you who have been, oh yeah, I know it gets hot. Holy smokes. Jason Axbatch told me about some misters. So I went ahead and got them on Amazon. I've been here in Shamrock. I went ahead and paid for an entire month. Hey, Sir X, how are you? How are you, buddy? Are you streaming today, Sir X? Where the heck is Shamrock? It's right on the border. It's on Route 66 or US 40, and it's right on the border of Oklahoma and Texas there. In about an hour. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see that. You're streaming with Wanty, right? Yeah, cool. Maybe are you going to live stream here on Twitch? And JK, okay. Will you be on Twitch or a different channel? Not on Twitch as far as you know. Okay. Well, maybe we'll have to, I don't plan on being more than an hour today. We'll have to go check out your stream with Wanty. Looked pretty interesting from what little scenes you had sent me. Wanty is turning into quite the investigator. It's fun to watch him. So we look forward to that. But it is a Facebook. Okay. Well, type in the address there, and then I can link into it when we finish up here, and then pass it on to the other viewers. Ah, fart, come on. I don't hear any of the sounds here. I think Jason and I had turned them off or something, but I'm not getting the sound, so I don't know about alerts and stuff like that. I think the alerts are showing, but I just don't hear the sounds. Sorry about that. And as you can see, this page is set up a little bit different. It should be a lot more fun for us, for you guys, to sit here and watch. And I've got different stuff set up now too, like my my favorite spin the wheel. Everybody loves spin the wheel, and so I've got it set up. Let's see here. So there you go, and now I can spin everything. Well, I should have been able to, you guys could see it. I could see it on the other page here. Well, let's go back to, here's what I'm seeing. So, close that. But now you guys will be able to see the spinner a little easier, a little gooder when we play that game. Of course, the intermission screen, kind of fun. So anyways, so things are set up a little bit different, and it should be a lot more fun. Zombie, you got your package, right? You got your, I don't even know what I sent you. I think I sent you a button, a postcard, a note card, I guess, and the penny from Roswell. Cool, cool, you got it. I know I asked Magmorta, and she also received hers the same day as you received yours. Your mom had told me that you'd gotten it, so that's cool. All right, mailed it from, where was I? I was in San Home at that time. So to give you guys an idea where I've been since, well, basically the month of June. I started out there in Pueblo. And we did the, I got into Pueblo and I hung out around the old train depot and downtown area there in Pueblo. And we did when I got there that night, I did a walking tour because it was like a Monday night and everything was shut down, which was good for us because I didn't have to contend with any crowds and the streets were kind of emptied. But if you recall, we went through the old town section and we found that cool neon section, and so we walked through that, and then that was a lot of fun. That was a treat. I didn't even know that existed, and I hadn't been there before. And then we went on down to the train and fooled around there a little bit. But the next day is when I went in and actually got a, well, I wouldn't call it a tour, but talked to the old fella about the prototype trains that never made it to production. And some of them were very, very cool. I showed you those as I was live streaming and the interview I did with him. And then the following day we went to the museum. That was a lot of fun, the Pioneer Museum downtown Pueblo there. And the gal there was very informative and a lot of fun. Great interview and whatnot. Hey Rico, how are you? How are you? Did a really, really, really good interview with her. It was a lot of fun. That museum was pretty cool. That's where we found out the story with Lucky the horse. And if you don't know that story, you're gonna have to go back to the VODs and check it out. I'm not gonna tell you about it. But interesting story there. And then from there, I went over to the following day. Sir X met me, actually. He met me there in Pueblo. But by that time, I'd moved all the way to the other side, well, the other end, over to the southern end of, I guess it would be southeastern side of Pueblo, to the airport. And I was hanging out there, and lo and behold, all of a sudden I see his truck pull up beside me. And so he hung out with me for a little bit, which was really great. He's actually the last friend that how do I say it? The last friend that I made contact with before leaving Colorado there. So we hung out a little bit, had a good time, and then the next day I did a tour at the airport museum there. Again, another really cool, fun video. Check it out in the VODs and whatnot. Yeah, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to everybody, and I'm just gonna put it out there because I truly believe after yesterday's event with Donald Trump, whether you like him or whether you don't, there is no question in my mind that God had a hand in what happened yesterday, and I truly believe that Trump was surrounded by a hedge of angels, and God has his back for whatever reason. To come that close, and the stuff that went down is a miracle before our eyes, and thank God. I feel bad for the man who lost his life in the audience, as well as I guess there was 2 other people that were wounded, is what I'm hearing today. It's too bad. It's too bad that that's where we've come with all this. It's not anything unusual. I think in all there's been 6 presidents throughout history that have gotten shot. So it's not anything new in politics, but it's sad. I just know that to come that close, and the way that, because I was actually watching the conference when it happened. Hey, Wanty, how are you, buddy? I'll be watching you here in about an hour. But I was actually watching that what do they call it? The rally there when it happened, and I was just blown away, but happy to see him jump back up. And again, I don't care if you like the guy or you don't like the guy. That's a bunch of crap. And I just thank God that he had a hand in taking that bullet out of a path of murdering Trump, because it was that close. Anyways, I'm going to get off that subject. We all know what's going on. We all heard about it. We all have our opinions. But yeah, God bless the USA, man. Anyways, so after leaving Pueblo, I went into Ludlow for a day or so, and I was planning on spending a couple of days there. And that's when my generator started acting up. All of a sudden, I didn't have the generator to pull the air conditioner at night. Now I'm kind of coming into altitude where it's getting a little bit warmer, but I was heading up to Raton Pass, right in New Mexico. I'll answer that here in a second there, Zombie. So as I started having these generator issues, it would run for about anywhere from 2 minutes to 20 minutes, and then it would die. And then sometimes it would start up and sometimes it wouldn't. So that was an indication that the fuel filter was clogging up. So I went ahead and ordered well, actually I couldn't. I got into, then I decided, because I wanted to stay the night in Raton, actually just outside of Raton, right on the Colorado border, within 2 miles of New Mexico, is a place, St. Aloysius. And I wanted to go up to that old church and hang out and boondock for a couple of days, do some prospecting and kind of hang out. And show you guys the trail and the old church up there. I've got some photographs I'll share with you later and some video. I'm going to put together a kind of a 30 seconds of each little stop as I made my way here to Shamrock. I hadn't done it yet, but at any rate, the generator, it was not functioning correctly, so I decided, well, I'm going to go ahead and go into the bigger city. And of course, there's nothing in Raton either. So I said, screw it. I'm going to head on down to Dawson. Now we're still around 7,000 feet, so we're up in altitude. It still got cool at night, and I could deal with the heat during the day. So I spent 3 days in Dawson. You guys got to see that. That was when I stayed at the cemetery there and investigated all night. And we captured some pretty cool stuff the first and the second night that I was there, and that was a hoot. There's still some stuff that I'm sure, had my parabolic mic been working better, then I probably would have heard a lot more than I did. But as I was going in to make a little quick video of it, I was capturing EVPs stuff I wasn't hearing when I was in the field there or in the cemetery, that I very clearly heard as I was going after I videoed it and was editing the videos. That was awesome. That was awesome. From there, we moved into Cimarron. If you guys never been to the St. James Hotel, definitely put it on your bucket list. It's changed a lot. It's so much different than when I went there back in the early 80s. But that's progress, you know. Now they've tore down part of the building and they built a great big, they call it the Annex, which is a modern hotel. It was the original hotel was built in 1880s, I believe. And it's all like 3-foot adobe blocks. And even the rooms, as you saw in the video, they were give you that fun house effect because the floors were all warped. The doors, some of them couldn't even shut anymore because the frames had swayed so much. And it's just a fun old building. I didn't spend the night there because it's also become a destination hotspot, and the price reflects it. When I first started going there, I think we got the rooms for like, and it was Mother's Day. The very first time I went there was Mother's Day, and we had the entire place to ourselves. It was myself, my ex, Jason, and Nick. Jason, I think, was about 12 years old then. He's pretty young, maybe 13. Some crazy stuff happened when we first stopped there, and so it became a favorite of mine, mostly because I owned my own business then. I had a printing company, and the very, very rare times that I ever left the business to vacation, which was like once in every 5 years, I might take off. And that was a destination because there was no phones, and of course we didn't have internet and cell service back in those days. So they couldn't get a hold of me. If things were going awry, they had to figure it out, but there was no way to call me, and I liked that because I could actually get away from the business for a little bit. Anyways, that's how I discovered the St. James. So even though it's changed quite a bit, it's still a beautiful place. It's a fun place. I'm sure that the ghosts still haunt the building. But as I said, I think I started there, it was like $49 a night, and now it's like $249 up to stay there, and that's just ridiculous to spend the night. Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to paying that. So. And then it was hot because, like I say, the RV, the generator was not working, and unless I was moving, I didn't have any air conditioning. So I went left there, and went into Springer and showed you another museum. Then we went into Las Vegas, New Mexico. I hung out there for a couple of days looking for an RV parts and stuff. Never got it, but I was able to order it through Amazon, and the part was going to take 2 days to get to a locker in Santa Fe. So I took off the next day, went to Pecos, New Mexico, hung out there for a day or so, and then went on into Santa Fe to pick up that part. And I spent 2 days in Santa Fe. Of all those places, guys, I was least impressed with Santa Fe. I didn't like Santa Fe at all. It's just not my kind of town. Nothing about it I liked, honestly. And that's, sorry if you're from Santa Fe or you love Santa Fe. That's just my opinion. It was big, it was flat, it was hot. My RV is 12 foot, 4 inches tall at the top of the air conditioner, and I'm sure it was taller than probably 95% of the trees in Santa Fe because they're all short growing. So there was nowhere to park to even get any shade. And that's when I started getting into the really intense heat, 100-degree a day heat, and it was miserable. So I finally got an RV spot the last night that I was there and got a good night's sleep, and hightailed it to a little town called Vaughn, and that where I could split off and either go to Sumner, which is where Billy the Kid was, or shoot down the other way and head down to Roswell. My big plan then was to actually go down in through Ruidoso and down into Las Cruces, and then come back up and come into Roswell from that direction. But that's when that fire broke out and changed all my plans. Plus I'm fighting that generator. Plus I'm in the devil's armpit as far as the heat was concerned. It was hot and crazy hot. So I really needed to get moving again. But I hung out in Vaughn for 4 or 5 days. It was free. It was free. I didn't have hookups, but the weather was cool enough, and I got enough fans that I could keep air moving. And because it was raining pretty much every night, it stayed nice and cool. It wasn't too bad. And I found me a little spot that I pulled off. Nobody bothered me. It was out of the way, and it was fun. So X1 T-Mill, hello, how are you? 110 in Arizona. I don't doubt that. I've been in Phoenix at midnight after I came in from Yuma out of Old Mexico, and it was 112 degrees still in Phoenix at midnight. Yeah, but they're used to living in the air. It's like we in Colorado sit by the heater all winter long. They sit by the air conditioner all summer long. So, yeah, it's kind of. So after hanging out to Vaughn and watching the fires and whatnot, I knew that Ruidoso was out, Las Cruces was out, and so I hightailed it down to Roswell. The road between Vaughn and Roswell it's probably, I think the drive was 80 miles. Boring. That was the longest 80 miles, I swear. It was awful. But I'd had in my mind a picture of Roswell, thinking it was this little tiny town and quaint little coffee shop and a few little tourists. It's a pretty big town, actually. It was probably about the size of our Pueblo, maybe a little smaller, but still, there was quite a few. There was a lot more town than I planned that there was going to be, and it was actually kind of fun, and I would have hung out, but again, I'm fighting that generator, and I'm fighting, and fuel cost. you know, I knew that going into the game, that fuel was going to be a pain in the butt. So far, I've not paid more than $2.99 a gallon, and I've had it as cheap as $2.84 a gallon. But when you're getting 6 miles to the gallon, I was chewing up $70, $80 worth of gas per day, just driving 80, 100 miles. And then on top of that, you got to pay $40, $50 for a conventional RV spot, which I plan to boondock the whole time along with my generator, and I've got extra solar, and man, I'm glad I got that extra solar because it's been a lifesaver for me. But the not having the generator, I can't run the air conditioner. So the boondocking is kind of put off to the side. So now I'm spending a lot of money on gas, but on top of that, I'm having to pay for almost a motel room every night to hook up where there's electricity. So it was getting expensive very fast. And when I found places that I could tolerate and hunker down, I would. But it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy at all. And I'm glad that I'm traveling alone because I don't have to listen to somebody else tell me how hot it is or how uncomfortable they are or what are we doing here or can't you fix that damn thing. I don't have to listen to any of that. I know all that. I don't need to be told that or reminded that. So that's kind of the upside of being single is I don't have to listen to somebody else bitch. Because in my own mind, I was doing all the bitching anyways. But really, I've been doing this 8 years now. So you got to take the good with the bad. And it's not always good. And it's not always that fun. And shit happens, you know. So one thing I did get, when I was in, Las Vegas, I looked at my front tire and I realized, because I had the wheel turned a little bit, and I could see the inside of that tire was wearing. It wasn't dangerous or anything like that, but it wore quite bad, which indicates an alignment problem. But more than that, I didn't want to deal with the tire issue down the road because I knew I was going to put some miles on. So I went ahead and got a brand new tire put on, and they couldn't do the alignment because they couldn't get it in the bay. It's too tall. So I'll have to find a place that's got a tall bay that I can actually get an alignment because it has to be done sooner or later. But at any rate, got a new tire. The reason I'm telling you this is because that'll come up in the story here in a minute. And by the way, I told you I was going to get back to you, Zombie. That just reminded me. So I'll pause here at Roswell for a second and answer your question, San Antonio. Am I going to get down to San Antonio? Probably not. My entire plans have changed. I don't know if you guys recall that map that I had. I can show you here real quick, I think. Let me get it queued up here. That's just Route 66. I'll come back to that one. So let me switch scenes here real quick. So the map that here indicates where I was going to take you guys, where all I was going to take you through New Mexico. And all this, I got quite a bit of that done for you. And I didn't shoot off this direction, so I didn't get any of this stuff. But I kind of stayed in this area. So all this stuff I did get done. But once I got to Las Vegas, I had all this stuff planned. right in this area. And as I made my way down to Truth and Consequences and then into Los Cruces, then back up into Alamogordo, back up into Roswell. I had all that stuff planned, but because I had the generator, I was forced to have to abort a lot of the stops that I was making because I didn't have the generator to boondock once I got there. So I was stuck kind of just to the RV parks. And that's why I stuck in the bigger cities. But all that stuff that I had pre-planned, I never got to do with you guys. And that was sad to me, because I wanted to see it, I wanted to do it, but B, I wanted to share it with you guys and let you see some of these adventures. But I have been, and still am to this day, that generator's not running. It has determined where I'm going from here and what I'm doing. And where I'm able to go. I got a guy going to come look at it tomorrow, I think. I finally got a hold of somebody here local that's going to send somebody over. I had a mechanic going to come earlier this week. Called me the first day. I think he was going to come on a Tuesday. Called me on Tuesday and said, well, I can't make it today, so we'll make it tomorrow. And then I never heard from him again. And apparently Wednesday never came. So blew him off here. He blew me off. And I got a hold of this another guy here, and it sounds promising. It sounds like this is what, now he has a man that can kind of figure out. Again, what I'm having now is I've changed the fuel filter, I've changed the fuel pump, I've changed the circuit breaker, but now I have no power and can't find the fuse that is probably blown. That is the reason why I don't have any power to the start button, either at the motor or back here on my control panel. Whole different issue. Now it doesn't, I can't even crank it. It won't start. So I don't know. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a mechanic. I don't want to be. And it's not something that I can't afford. I don't want to afford it, but I want it fixed. And whatever it takes, I will get that thing fixed and running, because I have to. My other option is my RV guy is down in Alabama. So those of you who have my Life 360 app and is watching where Gramps is moving about through the country, you may see me beeline 1,000 miles from where I'm at right now, all the way down into right in the panhandle of Florida and just over the line in Alabama to go see my mechanic. He's got a pad out there. It's next to a lake. It's got electricity, and he said he would repair my RV for the cost of the parts. And so it may be that I end up hightailing. I wanted to go to that direction, but I didn't want to do it till the fall. I kind of thought, well, I'd hang out and then do that stuff as the weather started turning colder. Then I'd head down south for the winter. I don't really want to go there right now because I've got all this other stuff I want to do throughout the United States. And I'm not ready to go. But again, if this guy can't fix the generator, I've rented this spot here in Shamrock now till the end of the month. So I've got till August 1st to get this generator going, and then I have to make a decision. Do I pay for more rent here? And I like this place, and it's cheap. It was $300 for the month to rent a space here. I've got full hookups. It's great. I got my little portable shower out back, so I've got endless hot water and can take as long a shower as I want to. Got, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 other people in the entire park and me, and we're spread out pretty much equal distance between each other. And everybody minds their own business, nice and quiet. Not a bad place, and for $14 a night, you can't beat it. So, do I hang out here, or do I hightail it? And I don't want to head straight down to Alabama, but I'm at a point now where I don't have time in my life to be wasting sitting here not doing and pursuing the stuff that I want to do because of a damn generator not running. I'm tired of wasting my time because I just don't have time left to waste. Which brings me to another issue, and we'll talk about that a little bit here. So San Antonio, I'm sorry to say, I won't be heading that way, Zombie, at least for now. Now, come in the wintertime, if I get down there, come January, February, I may make my way back to Texas and head into Galveston, and then shoot on down over or go over to Houston, and then make my way to San Antonio. I'd like to get down there, and then maybe resume my trip back into New Mexico that I was at before, and then make my way over into Arizona. I don't know. Galveston's a good aquarium. Yeah, I loved Galveston. It was a fun little town. I enjoyed Galveston. Called Moody's Gardens. Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. Put it on my list here. So, in fact, while we're here, go to Texas. Moody's Garden. M-O-E-Y. It's on Hope Boulevard. Just a second. So now I can add it to my thing, and let's see what it's about. Hotel and golf course. Holy schmolies. Hey, stop with the pop-ups. So it looks like a luxury hotel type thing, huh? Yeah, unless they allow Archie, it's not going to work. That's another thing too, is I've got to be conscious of Archie and what he can endure, and a lot of times I just leave the RV running, lock it up with another set of keys, leave it running, and that way he can get up on the dash and lay and have that air blow on him constantly. He likes that. But again, if I had the generator, I could just leave the air conditioner on. But I have to leave the RV running. Anyways, let's see what we're doing here. So, Texas, I've got a few things marked out here in Texas, but I haven't really started researching it. And that's another thing too, guys. And I did want to I was going to take you to a dinosaur museum too. I meant to tell you that because I had you in mind, Zombie. There was one down in I believe it was Las Vegas. And I was so excited that I was going to take you, but it was so damn hot. Yeah, I was gonna take you to that dinosaur museum. Had I known that, up there where I left, up in Canyon City, has one of the biggest dinosaur museums and exhibits, and it's outdoors, where there's actual dinosaur tracks and stuff that I would have taken you to. But I didn't know. I didn't know. Now I know. Keep an eye out for dinosaur stuff, for zombie. Libra is in California. What? Labrie? Not sure what that is. Yeah. California is a state I'll never go in. You won't see me in California. Guaranteed. California or higher up in the East Coast, I won't go. We won't go into details, just I won't go. Actually, the whole southern coast, they're a bunch of idiots, so. Or I'm sorry, the whole western, sorry. The whole west coast. Oregon, Idaho, Washington State, California. I been there, done that, won't go back. And they're not very RV friendly. Too many stupid laws. Anyways, so yeah, all right, so then I made it to Roswell. From Roswell, then I shot up and went to Fort Sumner, and that's where I did the Billy the Kid thing. Unfortunately, I got there on a Monday, and apparently everything shuts down on a Monday because the whole town was closed down and nothing was open, including the museum. So I didn't get to take you in there, but I went out of town to where the gravesite was, where Billy the Kid was buried, and I showed you that, and then I headed out of town and about 20 miles and went to Fort Sumner, or Sumner Lake. And geez, I ended up, I was going to go there for 3 days, ended up spending a week. It was a state-ran park. I had a real nice spot, full hookups and everything. And again, $14 a night to stay there, and I could have stayed there up to 14 days before I had to leave. And I think I spent 8 days there, and it was nice. Again, my thinking was, even though I really wanted to go up to Blue Hole and do some of the Route 66 stuff, because I was within 30 miles of it, I was being held back for the fact that I don't have any air, because I don't have any air if I boondock, which is why I'm still here in Shamrock, is because I'm married to electricity right now. Too damn hot if I don't. So spent some time down there at Fort Sumner, or Lake Sumner. Then I went into Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa was another place I want to show you guys. It was a great place, and when I've done Route 66 now, this will be pieces of it. I'm not really doing the whole thing. I've done it twice, the whole thing, but with the exception of California, I didn't go into California. So from Arizona on. At any rate, I didn't, I got into Blue Hole there in Santa Rosa, and apparently in the Blue Hole, which is famous for diving and whatnot, because it's just like 90 feet down, and a lot of scuba divers learn and stuff, and the water temperatures, I don't know, I should probably bring up the website, but you guys can check it out. Well, the whole west wall had caved in inside Blue Hole. Something happened, I don't know what. So the park was closed down, the whole entire area there. You couldn't park up, it had cheap RV overnight stuff. It was a state park, and I had planned to stay there, but it was closed, so I couldn't even get into the park. So plan B, what the hell do I do now? So I made it in from Santa Rosa. I went up Cuervo. Cuervo is pretty cool, guys. It's one of the few truly Old West ghost towns. It was definitely, I would say Old West, but it was a town that thrived back in the day of Route 66, because now I'm on Route 66, the old Route 66, and heading east again from Santa Rosa. So, but I got to Cuervo, and when I was there 4 years ago, no, 7 years ago, the first time I went there, I explored the town, and it was late and dark and when I got in there, but I parked up and hung out in town overnight, and then the next day I got out and started doing some abandoned exploration, building to building and house to house and whatnot, hung out there. And I come across some pretty odd and unusual stuff. Didn't think too much about it. Well, I did. It was kind of creepy and still, what's the word I'm looking for? The feeling that I felt was creepy, but more almost disgusted, because inside this one particular house, stapled on the walls throughout, were pictures of little girls and their underwear tacked to the wall and stuff. What the hell is this? And later on, I get back home, and at that time I was kind of based in Kansas. So I get back, and I'm getting ready to edit this video, and so I'm thinking, well, certainly I needed some extra footage and stuff. So I did a Google search, and this news story popped up about this I don't know if he was, I'll have to pull up the story again because I don't want to give you an untrue story, but he was like a serial killer pedophile. And he was exhibiting some of his prizes, if you will. And that's what I happened to come upon. And so he was only there within weeks of the time that I was there, and whether it had been discovered yet or not, I can't remember, but I was thinking I was right on the cusp of him being found out. And there I was, sleeping in this ghost town all by myself with a serial killer, So that was kind of a fun one. But I went back 4 years ago, and I believe all that stuff, because it was found and then it was all taken in as evidence. I think it had all been torn off the walls, but I've got video and stuff back originally when I came across that, of all that disgusting stuff on the wall and whatnot. Came across a similar type situation where it was missing persons in Cisco, Utah, in an old abandoned place where the guy had taken a tarp, and on this tarp he had posted a bunch of missing persons flyers and stories and newspaper clippings and stuff all against this wall and stuff. And I always wondered if those two were related in any way or not, but I couldn't find the correlation putting the two together. But that was up in Cisco, Utah, which was famous, by the way, for you older ones in the group that might remember the old movie Vanishing Point. It was a great movie, but that was where the end of the movie was filmed. It was there in Cisco, Utah. Anyways, so I always wondered if it was related to what was happening down in Cuervo, New Mexico, and I wasn't able to put the two together. So I spent the night again there in Cuervo, and just down the road from Tucumcari. Anybody knows me knows that I will drive miles out of my way to get to Tucumcari, to get to Watson's Barbecue, because it is the finest and the best absolutely best brisket you'll ever eat in your life. So I pulled in to town, got there. It was like mid-afternoon. By the time I had to find an RV spot, which I never did, which I paid for because it got so freaking hot. I never slept that whole night, just trying to sleep without air conditioning and just having my fan blown. No bueno. Anyways, I finally make my way down to Watson and it was closed. What? The sad part about Tucumcari is I knew going into town before I got there, there was a lot of old hotel structures that 7 years ago when I was there, they were still some of them were in a condition that it would have taken some money, but they probably could have got those complexes up and going again. 4 years ago, I pulled in, and one of the most major ones, it was called the Paradise, and I'll have to throw that into one of my reels sometime. Paradise Hotel, and it also had a little restaurant off to the side. And I do a room to room to room to room. Every single room I videotaped and did an abandoned exploration throughout that hotel. That was 7 years ago. Well, 4 years ago, as I'm coming in from into town, the whole front of that building had burned up. Apparently, some homeless people got in there and set the place ablaze. Which I don't know if it was homeless or the owners or whatever. But the building had burned up all in the front. And when I went through this last time, there was so much garbage and so much stuff and so much, I didn't even want to pull into the driveway. There was just covered in debris and whatnot. Hey Mag, how are you? How are you? I mentioned you a little bit earlier. Glen Rose, Texas. I'll have to put that on the list too. I'm just now seeing that in the chat. So Tucumcari, as I drive further into town, it was in really bad shape when I was there 4 years ago. A lot of the businesses were gone, and even the businesses that were open had fallen into such disrepair that it didn't look too inviting just to go in and eat or to do business with, because the building itself had fallen into disrepair. It's like the town had given up. And so I didn't hang out long, guys. It was a place that I had looked forward to getting to for so long now. And okay, Sir X, thanks. Put your link up so we all know where to go. Before you go, put your link up here so that we know to go check out your channel afterwards. So I left Tucumcari without my brisket and headed up to San Juan, which is up just about almost like 18 miles from the Texas-New Mexico border. Stayed there for a night or two. 2 nights, I think. Yeah. And that's where I met, while I was there, that's when I mailed the package to you, McMorta. All right, cool. Thank you, Sir X. Or Sir X, yeah. I was thinking JK. Thank you. So I stayed at San Juan for a couple of days, but it was nice because it had a town park that you're welcome to stay at. I don't know, I think it's a 5-day limit, but they don't have any, they have a bathroom. and that's basically what they offered you. Not like you had hookups or anything like that. But fortunately, again, we were getting some storms, and it was cool, and it wasn't too bad. But I did finally leave out of there, and I go to Glen Rio. And Glen Rio, one thing I'll tell you is, since I was in New Mexico last, they had legalized pot. And I'm telling you what, that entire state has got to be totally stoned, totally all the time, because when they legalized it in Colorado didn't have, and they had a lot of dispensaries, but nothing like what I saw in New Mexico. You could go to any little old town, and every house looked like it's getting ready to fall in, but they had a nice dispensary. And that was the case of Glen Rio. Everything had fallen away. In fact, some of the buildings that I'd went into were totally gone. Some of the buildings that I did get into and did some video and stuff, I don't know what they did, but they completely removed the roof off the entire hotel and the gas station. So I've got video of before, and I've got video of what I saw the last time I was there, and I'll throw them together sometime and let you guys see the comparison. It's a lot cleaner and a lot safer and nicer and whatnot. I don't know what the purpose was, why you wouldn't demolish the whole building, but they didn't. At any rate, there was a super nice dispensary at the end of that town, and that was it, because it sat right on, in fact, part of the property, the back of the property to the dispensary was in Texas, and part of it, the front part of the building and the main portion of that was in New Mexico, right on the state line. So the people from Texas were coming over to Glen Rio to buy their smoke and then shoot on back over into Texas. And that was the last dispensary there in New Mexico. So that was kind of funny. So I get into Texas, get to Adrian, Texas. Adrian, Texas is the midpoint, and I think it's 1,137 miles from Midway, Texas, which is Adrian. It's 1,137 miles from there to Santa Barbara Beach in California, and 1,137 miles from there to Chicago. So that's the halfway point of Route 66 between those 2 points. So that was what was famous about Adrian. And the movie Cars, as you saw the movie's Cars. Flo's Diner is there, and she still got the old Ford Fairlane parked out in front of it. The old Ford pickup that they allowed you to take a Sharpie or whatever you wanted to do, and you could sign your initials or whatever you wanted to write on the side of this truck. It was just covered with autographs and sayings and you know, different stuff people had written on there. It's got a few Simply Ghost on there, and it's got a few Nomans, and because I would sign on to it. Hey, Pumpkins, how are you? How are you? And so, yeah, I stopped by there, and the old pickup was gone. They swapped it out for, I think it was an old Chevy or something that now that's what everybody was autographing and whatnot. And this time I didn't even bother. I was, at this point, I was so hot and miserable, and I kind of stopped. I went inside of Flo's Diner was closed. It not forever, but it just happened to be closed when I was there. And they had a little gift shop next door, and I thought, well, I'd get me a bottle of soda or something. And it was strictly just gifts. And they didn't have anything to drink at all. So I walked in and walked out, got in the RV, and tootled on down the road. From there I went to Vega. Vega was quite interesting. Just for memory's sake, I spent a couple of nights there in an abandoned cafe truck stop one time a few years ago. I went to Wild Grotto. Wild Grotto is famous. There used to be a base there where they produced something like 93% of the helium used in the world was manufactured there at this, or was that Busland? I can't remember. I think it might have been Busland. One of those two. Hey, Scarlett, how are you? How are you? I am. It's not been easy and completely what I planned, but what life is, right? So I checked out that, and I really, I got some photographs of the outside and the fence, and I drove around the whole base, and I'm just thinking, you know, how do you get in there to see that? Because all the buildings look like you could just walk into them. You just had that great big fence in front of you, along with that barbed wire, you know, all over the top there. And then in my case, where do you hide an RV, right? It's kind of easy to see no matter where you park. So I never got out and never got into the helium factory, but I really wanted to. From there, I moved into, as I went in through Amarillo, there was a couple of stops I was going to make, and I never did. The only other stop that I made of any kind of well, here, following my course, drove past the Cadillac Ranch. There was so many people, and I'd been there several times. I didn't feel like going out there and fighting with all the people, and so I just drove on by it. Same thing with the Big Texan Steakhouse. Been there, done that. Didn't really need to stop, but I went past it. And I got down into just outside of Amarillo. There's a place called Conway, Texas. And Conway, Texas made a go of it. And I just made a video here just a little bit ago. Let's see here. Pull this up real quick. It's a little 2-minute video, so let's see here. Let me see here. Pull it up. Looking. There we go. Conway, Texas. Okay. I may have to turn off my mic. I don't know. Tell me if this is like way too loud for you guys. Turn down that. All right. Let me switch you over and show you this real quick. Tell you the little story of Conway, Texas. 2 minutes is all. 35 miles west of Amarillo on US 40 and Old Route 66 once was the home to Slug Bug Ranch. It was created in 2002. 5 wrecked Volkswagen Beetles buried hood down at a 45-degree angle in the ground, and was the brainstormed idea of the Crutchfield family, who owned the Longhorn Trading Post and Rattlesnake Ranch and sat next to a shop has been abandoned for years. The buried bugs arrived as a defiant gesture to a huge corporate travel plaza that had been built on the south side of the highway. The Crutchfields figured that they could stay in business if they could lure traffic from the uninvited petro giant with something eye-catching and interactive. Slug Bug Ranch was created in part as a parody of the popular Cadillac Ranch, 35 miles west. The VW bugs wrecks and originally painted a bright yellow, and a sign next to them encouraged visitors, sign a bug. The thinking was that if you stopped at one ranch, you had to stop at both. The Crutchfields were right. Slug Bug Ranch proved popular as an attraction. Unfortunately, it didn't prove successful as an income producer, and the Trading Post and Rattlesnake Ranch closed. After the Beatles arrived for the next 2 decades, the Slug Bug Ranch site continued to draw seekers of quirky attractions. I'm glad now looking back that I stopped back in 2020, because if I had not, I would have missed it forever. If you missed this attraction, I'm sorry to tell you that it was all bulldozed away in the fall of 2023, and Slug Bug Ranch no longer exists. The buildings for now still remain standing, but the VWs and old car are all gone. Okay, and that was Conway, Texas, guys. That's where the old Slug Bug Ranch used to be. When I got there, as I said in the end of that video there, it's gone. There's nothing left of the old cars have been bulldozed, and the old car at the end of that was all mashed beyond recognition and half buried in the ground. So, yeah. And that was a thing too, Pumpkin. They actually wanted the graffiti. They welcomed people with their spray paint and stuff to do whatever they wanted to do there. Now, in my research of that, the Crutchfield family, in the end, part of the reason that I think it closed down was some of those buildings weren't theirs. They were kind of inherited because they were in close proximity to the rest of them, and it became part of that to an old, that property belonged to whoever owned the motel room or motel next door to it. And so there was a little bit of some dissension between the two owners about the property line there. So that was another factor, that part of history that's gone and means nothing anymore because it doesn't matter. But all right, so that was Conway. From there I went to Groom, and Groom is really cool. I did a video on it where they've got the 12 stages of the crucifixion of Christ and the resurrection and whatnot. Very cool place. Very somber. It's very religious for sure. I remember the first time that I blazed through 7 years ago. I got into the Groom, Texas. It was late. I mean, late, probably midnight. And that was the first time I came through on Route 66. It was like October, and that's monsoon season, and it was raining and raining and raining and raining every day, all day for the first 30 days I was on Route 66. It was just, it didn't discourage me because it was all new, it was all exciting, it was all part of the fun. But I get into Groom around midnight, and it's pouring down the rain. But I got out of the RV to take some pictures and whatnot. I realized that rainwater was kind of warm, and it really didn't feel bad. And I'm the only one out there, right? And so I stripped down totally naked, grab a bar of soap, and I start taking a shower right there in the parking lot in front of God and everybody. Using the rain as my natural shower, and I had a real nice shower. And it was compliments of God himself. That was one of my favorite memories of going to Groom the first time. Hey Dennis, you ever have a problem with mosquitoes? It's funny. No, I don't. But I must have that blood type or something in my blood or something about me. I've never really attracted mosquitoes. They don't. I killed one the other night. Was the first mosquito I saw all summer. They don't bother me. And I'm around water sources and stuff that generally, when it cools off, all that standing water and stuff that become breeding grounds for the mosquitoes, they're around, but they don't bother me. Yeah, so I'm lucky that way. Yeah. I know some people are that way. If you could be in a crowd of 100 people and it's going to find you. It's going to find you. So from Groom, I go into Britain. They've got the Leaning Water Tower. Took a picture of that years ago. Didn't see any reason to stop. McLean, that was where the first Phillips 66 gas station was built. McLean, Texas. And again, didn't stop. Lots of photographs there from years gone by. I was kind of beelining it at that point to Shamrock here, knowing that this place was still here. The RV park is where I'm at today, and where I'll be till the end of the month. Again, I'm hoping to get the guys out to look at the generator tomorrow. Hopefully they'll get it repaired. My repair guy we've been on the phone constantly since all this started, but he had moved from Colorado into down to Alabama. Worst case scenario, I'll end up hauling ass down 1,000 miles to go see him in Alabama, as he's got a place for me to park up with a lake, and said that he'd do the repair work for the cost of whatever the parts were, and get me back on the road again. So can't refuse that, but I'm hoping that's the plan B, because I'm not ready to go that far south yet. I've got too much I want to do in between, but if I have to, I'm not wasting any more of my life letting this generator delegate what I do and what I can't do. So I've got to get it fixed one way or another. So anyways, that's kind of the where I've been for the last month, what I've been up to and what's going on. I'm sorry that I haven't been streaming as much, but I do have some things set up here, and actually I know that Jason, I think Jason's handle here, California, SoCal. SoCal wants to do some metal detecting, and I could actually do that right here in this RV park and stuff, and maybe some places in the area. So I might get out there and do some metal detecting here in the next day or two, and stream it live. Give you guys something to see what I'm doing, what I'm up to, something different. And then I also have a hospital here in town that I located, and the building looks pretty cool. Let's see if I can pull up a check. Test 1 2. Check test 1 2. All right, let's see here. Yeah, so here's where I'm at right now, guys. Control Z. Let me switch up a little bit. This is the quaint little town of Shamrock here. Some of the old abandoned buildings. This is the front entry into that hospital. This is looking from the side. Now I parked right here, and I told you that I got a new tire in Las Vegas New Mexico a couple of weeks ago. I'm parked right there. And then I go ahead and start walking around the building, and I start shooting pictures from various angles, different sides and whatnot. Very cool building, a lot of great stories, and apparently the third floor was the children's floor because there's a lot of haunted activity that take place up on that third floor. What's amazing to me is you look at this old building, and even though you can't really tell, none of these window panes are broke. They actually have glass in them, and there's no graffiti on the walls and stuff like that. I don't know why, but the building is still being taken care of very well. They did tours back as soon as 3 years ago, but abruptly stopped for some reason, and they're not doing tours anymore. I don't know if it was a conflict between the group that was leading the tours and the owners, or if the owners just said no more. But I did get the owner's name, and I know who he is and I even know where he lives. So I'm going to contact him to see if he'll do, first off, a tour, and then I'll see how that tour goes and work my way into maybe doing an investigation. So we'll see. I've got to do that in the next few days because I'm only going to be here a couple more weeks. So I walk around the building and I'm taking pictures. There, you can see the RV parked right there. So I get back to the RV, and as I start walking around here in this lot, I see nothing but screws and nails and glass and just about everything that would give a tire nightmares was laying there in that parking lot. So I leave the hospital there. I drive on down the road and do some grocery shopping, a little grocery market here at the end of town. I come back here to the RV park, and I'm parking up, and I'm leveling everything up, and I happen to notice that front tire is just about flat. I'm thinking, what? I must have run over something on the road. My first thought was, I'm tired, I don't feel like dealing with it. I got compressors, I'll just put a little, no, fix it. You haven't even hooked up yet. Fix it. So I got on my phone real quick and found a tire repair shop just a block over. Get over there, and there's they got nothing to do. They're sitting there twiddling their thumbs. So got me right away, and sure enough, he pulled off that tire, and you found this like 2-inch big lag screw stuck in my tire. So he took the tire off, did a hot patch on the inside, put it back on, and repaired that tire. But that was my brand new tire, guys. My brand new tires has already got a patch. Doing what I do, and going to so many abandoned locations and some of these places that I go to, and these back roads that I'm in, and these old farmhouses and whatnot, there's always boards with nails in them, nails laying around, glass, sharp metal objects. So realistically, that's just part of what I have to expect. Is every now and then, usually once every month and a half, I have to repair a tire. I have to get it plugged, or I have to get it a hot patch. Fortunately, I haven't lost a tire other than the one in Kansas. That was a total blowout. Hit something, I don't know but the tire just destroyed. Well, that sounds good. That sounds good, Kat. And sometimes you can do that, but a lot of times I'm way back into places because I take this RV in a lot of places that you typically wouldn't see an RV. And a lot of that has changed a little bit now that I got that great big storage, whatever thing hanging off the bumper. that added an extra 3 feet to the length of my RV, so I can scrape bottom pretty easy just going through a big dip. I'll hear that thing drag behind me, so it's kind of limited to what kind of inclines I can go over now and stuff like that. But I'll still take it into some places that most people wouldn't take an RV. Hey, you know, it's part of the risk. If I get stuck, then I got a story, right? Then I got a story, right? Yeah. I picked up Lacey and Gypsy down in Alabama, and from Alabama, we were down in, I think Lacey lived in Dothan. So I picked her up in Dothan, and we hauled ass up to Eufaula, Georgia, from there. And we get back, and she's telling her friend, she says, "You ought to see this guy drive. I'm telling you what, you think he's in a VW Volkswagen, the way he just turns that thing around, backs up, and drives on, and goes and does." She was pretty impressed with what I could do in an RV. But, you know, I'm not abusing it. I'm not going to purposely do anything that I am going to, you know, I'm not crawling boulders and stuff like that, or doing stuff that I would in, say, my truck or my Jeep. But by the same token, it's not going to keep me from getting to that abandoned location or to that particular location. I want to take her in. And if it bounces around a little bit, then take the bumps a little slower. I don't know, but yeah, I do it. And it's fun. It's part of the fun. And again, you know, knock on wood, I've been very fortunate because I haven't gotten stuck anywhere that I couldn't get myself out of. But yeah, I do have to expect a tire repair or two every now and then, and that's part of it. Some of the, so you know, that's an up or a down, depends on how you want to look at it. One thing I've noticed too, since I've left Colorado, those people don't stay in touch with you for very long. If they don't see you regular, and they don't see you or know that you're in, like when I was at the Abbey, everybody always wanted to come to the Abbey. So that was a reason to stay in contact with Gramps here, I guess. But now that I really don't have anything to offer, and I don't want to think of it that way because I've got a lot of great friends. Trust me, I'm not banging on anybody, and I understand life gets busy and you get stuff going on. In fact, Sean's got him a regular girlfriend now, and so the dynamics of our relationship has changed drastically. Not so much because I'm no longer there, it's because he's preoccupied with a pretty woman. What the hell does he need me for? Sarcastic and grumpy old fucker. He doesn't need my shit, he's got her now. so I get that. But as far as the other people, you know, I mean, my messaging and my mailboxes have slowly become less and less. And that's okay, I guess. You know, again, it's not because I've lost those friendships. It's just that there's really no reason to contact me. Nothing they need or nothing I can do for them. And when it's not, I don't mean that in a way that I felt like I was ever being used. I'm just saying that I understand there was a reason to contact me, and now really there isn't a reason other than just say hi. But don't let that stop you. Just drop me a line and say hi every now and then, guys. I appreciate that. I like knowing that people still give a shit, you know. It's a good feeling to know that people have got your six, you know. And And I still try to drop people a line. I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I get so busy and wrapped into my stuff. But on the other hand, too, I've got a lot more time than most people. Time, speaking about time in the day. So I've got a lot more time to stay in touch or to send out a little message or just some stupid little smiley face or a GIF or something like that, and try to bring a smile to your face in the course of a day. Because everybody's got their shit happening. Everybody knows, you know, I mean, there are things going on, and everybody has their own problems, and everybody is dealing with their own demons, so to speak. And so I get that, you know. Mr. Dork, best viewers. Okay, I think that's probably a deleter, I'm thinking. One of my mods want to take care of that. So, yeah, and, you know, getting into where do I get all this traveling in my blood? Well, I'm an old Air Force brat. When I was born, my dad was in the Air Force, and we were constantly being shipped from one place to another place to another place to another place. My old man was somebody who couldn't keep his mouth shut. He okay, I just got to notice that Chris is online, but he couldn't keep his mouth shut. And being in the military, you don't spout off to your commanding officers, and he did that a lot. So they'd ship him out somewhere else, ship him out over there. As a consequence, as a kid, I was always the new kid in the class because we were moving from here to here. I went from in first grade, I started school in Utah, went to school in Okinawa, first grade, and ended the year in Aurora, Colorado. So I was in 2 different states and a foreign country just for my first grade because we traveled so much. And I don't know, and that continued as even after he retired. We still did a lot of moving around because then he got into his own businesses, and those businesses he would expand down into another area, which moved us to another area. And as a kid, I was constantly moving. And I guess that's how it got in my blood, because I'm always curious as, you know, what's next and where do you go? And I get bored easily seeing the same old, same old. I've got to see what's on the other side of that fence, you know, over that hill. And I guess that's probably where I ended up getting this bug from. And I don't mind it, you know, but it does have its ups and downs too, you know. And fortunately, I'm the kind of guy that I make friends with anybody. I can have a conversation with the most intelligent or the most stupid, the most political and non-political. I get along with everybody for the most part. I have very few enemies. And I'm fortunate that way because I'm not shy and bashful, you know. I'm not afraid to strike up a conversation. So I don't have a lot of enemies. I am like everybody. I'm sure I got a few. In fact, well, I won't go there. But at any rate, you can't go through life and not make a few enemies because they're for whatever reason. And it doesn't have to be anything more than just jealousy sometimes. They don't like you. They don't like you. And so it is what it is. But I don't mind meeting new people and going new places and being the new guy. But sometimes, you do get a yearning. I know when I came off the road after being on for 4 years the first time, it was nice to come back to where I was recognized and people knew my name. But on the other hand, it was kind of nice being incognito and no preconceived idea about who you are, what you're up to, what you're about, and knowing any of your background to start any gossip with, And so there's advantages to both sides of it. But it is fun. It is fun to travel and get to know new people, because everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a great story, and everybody has something very unique about them personally. And sometimes you got to just kind of work it out of them and via a conversation. But all of a sudden you find out this amazing fact that you're just kind of sitting there shaking your head, because this is such an amazing person that you're speaking to, and they take it with a grain of salt like it was nothing, and you're just totally blown away with something that happened in their life. And so that's another plus to traveling around, is meeting all these great people. One of the downsides too, traveling alone, I'm way beyond. I am alone 95% of my life, but that doesn't mean I'm lonely. There's a big difference. I keep myself occupied and busy all day long, and to the point where it gets dark again, I'm saying, wow, I just got up. What did I do all day? Because I was so busy doing whatever I was doing. And I don't sit here and, I wish I could. It's really difficult for a lot of people. I think this is a part that a lot of people might have a problem with, is the idea, it's like this generator thing going on, The generator has been constant. Since I left Colorado, now I've been gone for 2 months, month and a half. Since I've left, that generator has been a thorn in my side, and it has created so many diversions, not problems, because I've overcome the problems, but it's created a situation where I've had to make decisions of going or not going in places that I planned a year ago to go to, and I have to bypass it now. And that's just part of it, it's again, you're by yourself, so you need to have to make these decisions all the time, and you can't pass on that responsibility to somebody else, because you're the guy. You're the one that it's going to affect. It's not going to affect anybody else. You got to figure it out, And yeah, it's disappointing from time to time. It's not what I had planned, but you know what? I've always been a guy. The grass is greener on the other side, anyways. Let's go over the next hill and see what's there. Maybe that I'm not supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be here, and just go with the flow. That comes up with a lot of the years in the past that I've traveled and going state to state to state and place to place to place has been random. I mean, really, I have a few places marked that if I'm in the area, I would, why not stop or go to them, which is what I have these maps made up for. But some of the places I know, when I mark them, odds are I'll never see them, but if I get close, I can look at my map and know that they're there and maybe go out of my way a little bit to see it if I'm close, you know. But a lot of places I know I'll never see, and that's okay. There's places I'd like to go. But that's where, you know, this last map that I created when I left Colorado, throughout New Mexico, I had planned to stop here and do this and do that, and I was going to do this. And life's not that way for me. There is no organization in my life. My life is random, and a lot of times it's spontaneous, and I can I can change my mind at the drop of my hat, you know. I got nowhere to be and no time to be there. And I can change it up and go with the flow, however, and that's good. That's why I'm thinking what I'm going to do from here on. Unless I don't get this generator fixed, I'm really hoping I'll get this generator fixed. But if I don't, I'm going to haul ass down to probably head on down to Alabama, get it fixed, and then from there, I may end up all the way 1,000 miles back this direction. I don't know, but the generator will be working. I'm tired of that thing not working and delegating what I'm going to do and what I don't do. That's a fact of that. But again, I kind of digressed a little bit. What a lot of people about my lifestyle could not handle is, even while I was fighting all these generator problems and stuff for the last month and a half since I've left Colorado, a lot of people would say, well, you know what? You need to fall back, go home, and reevaluate and get things fixed, and then hit the road again. But herein lies the problem. This is my home, guys. I don't have a home state. I don't have a home address. I've got a home that is mobile. I don't have a place to go back to. I don't have a place that I call home. Colorado will always be home, but I don't have a home in Colorado, if that makes any sense. That's just the way it is. So I can't just go home and recuperate and then come back out on the road when I'm good and ready. This is it. I got to figure out shit while I'm living it. And that would be hard on a lot of people. I understand that. That's a very difficult situation to constantly have to be under. And I don't look at it as pressure. I just look at it as, you know, here's what's going to happen. You know, I'm going to get that generator going, and in the end, I'm going to find out it's something silly, stupid. But for the rest of my life, I'll have a story to tell you guys and share with you that how stupid I was because I kept overlooking this and overlooking that. I know it's going to turn out, or I'll be able to laugh about it later. It doesn't matter. It's like all my time at the Abbey, I did a lot of wonderful things, and I did a lot of things from my heart. I spent a lot of my own money, and God knows I spent a lot of my own time in a not so healthy environment, extremely unhealthy given my state of health. And I did it for no reward other than knowing that somehow maybe I'll make a difference and that building will stand 100 years from now. But it became very obvious that was just a pipe dream that I had manufactured in my mind, because it's not going to happen. And it's not reality. It was my reality, but it's not everybody else's reality, that this building be around for 100 years. And once I figured that was so disheartening that really I just kind of lost what kept me going and whatnot to get through some of the stuff that I was having to deal with, until the point where I just said I can't do this anymore, and I exposed everything. And I'm very proud of that as well. Hopefully it'll make a difference. Hopefully things will change. But I doubt it, but it doesn't matter. It's not my battle anymore, you know? This is my battle. battling a damn generator that doesn't want to run for me. Once I figure out that battle, I'm good to go again. So anyways, I babbled here. I've told you guys pretty much what's been going on for the last month and a half. I'm sitting here babbling about. The big plan now is to get this generator going one way or another. I will try to stream and get you guys something here in the next week. There's also a very cool museum here in town. I'd like to take you through that. Do some metal detecting. If I could get that hospital set up, that would be fun too. So we'll see. We'll see. But anyways, I thought it'd been a while since I streamed. I needed to catch up with you guys, let you know that I'm alive. And for the most part, I'm doing okay. You know, my health is, my breathing has gotten a whole lot better after leaving Colorado and being out of the Abbey and all that mold and mildew. My stamina seems to be higher because I'm not feeling so shitty all the time trying to breathe. But I have an issue with my legs, and my legs don't always want to work. And cramping has been intense. And that's part of the drugs that I'm having to take to keep me alive, you know. So every day I wake up, I'm saying, hey, I'm alive. It's a good day. It's a good day. Yeah, getting, you know, I did, Jason. I hit a bottom point there, and especially in the end, because they treated me so badly, so unfairly. And it wasn't right. And then to find out that I had I thought, great friend, a good friend, who was undermining me the whole time. Somebody I trusted, somebody I cared for, somebody I helped. And she turned on me. And I wish them the best. I wish her the best. Hope everything turns out for them. And but it's quite obvious that there was some undermining going on. And somehow I'm the bad guy, you know. For those of you who don't know me and only hear one side of their story, then I'll always be a bad guy. Those who know me and watch me and saw me through my actions for the past 13 years know that I had an undying love for that building and a passion for what I was doing there. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm proud of what I did. And I don't believe I've ever mistreated anybody there. And if I did, I certainly didn't do it with any bad intentions. Plenty of folks took advantage of me. And that's part of life too, you know. You just gotta put your guard up. And I've found too, you know, I go with my gut a lot. And I had a funny feeling about this one very early on, and I kind of conserved that and kept drawing myself away, knowing that something wasn't quite right there, and then panned out and became very obvious. Sad, but that's, again, life. You don't know who you can trust, who you don't trust, who's really got your back and who's got the knife in your back. You know, sometimes you don't see that, you don't know that. But it is, again, what it is. So my big plan here, guys, is to hang out for the next 2 weeks, and I'm sure I'll be on a time or 2 or 3 or 4 maybe before then to let you know what's going on. So again, you know, my stuff is kind of sporadic. I'd like to say that I'll put it on the calendar, but I don't necessarily know that that's true. Turn on your notifications, guys, please, and that'll let you know when I'm streaming. With that, I think we want to go check out and see what Sir X and Wanty are doing. And in fact, I can probably go back up to his link up here. We'll just can have a watch party right here. Maybe. I don't know. There it is. Let's see if I can hook up with him. See, not sure if this is it or not. Did his stream end? Is anybody watching Sir X? He, actually, yeah, we can raid Wanty, huh? Let's go raid Wanty. Go ahead and let's raid Wanty because he's obviously. I would think he's streaming. SoCal, how are you, buddy? Talking about you earlier, I'm going to try to do some metal detecting. Nothing else here in the RV park for a little bit. Not today, but in the next day or two. And turn on your notifications. Thanks for them biddies and cheers. I appreciate it, buddy. Neither are streaming. Okay, well, I guess yeah, it said he went an hour and 11 minutes on this that I see. That's 63 views. Good for him. Good for him. All right, he must be done streaming then. Dang, I didn't mean to talk all the way through his, but because I want to see what they're about. I guess I'll have to watch the VOD. At any rate, guys, that's about all I needed to cover today. I will be putting together some clips of all the stuff that we just went over, all my little stops. I'll give you about a 30 minutes or 30-second segment of each stop. In all, there was like 30 different highlighted spots that I've stopped. And throw that up and share that with you. In the meantime, you guys stay cool wherever you're at. I know we're going through a heat thing. Today it's 104 here in Shamrock, Texas. Nice and chilly out. And actually, I can't complain. Let's see what the temperature is. It's 86 in here, but with the air moving and whatnot, it doesn't feel that bad. I'm okay. Yeah, friend in the cloud, take care. Thanks for the stream. Good to see you back on. Well, thanks for stopping in, Feed. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, also got Spin the Wheel back up. Maybe we'll do a Spin the Wheel like Monday or Tuesday night. Someone playing Phasmo. Yeah, we can go ahead and we've got enough people to make it worth their while. Check out their channel, see what they're up to. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for dropping in. And turn on your notifications. I'll try to get back in the next couple of days with something fun. For those of you who had missed the beginning of the stream, you might want to go back and check the VODs and kind of slide through it, see what's interesting and whatnot. And as always, it's going to be like, I'll see you when I see you. Jason, go ahead and send us on over to whoever's playing Phasmo, I guess. We'll go from there. Woodwalker. Okay. Is that with or without the period? invalid, so it must be without the period. Enter. There we go. It's right at your channel. There we go. Hey guys, how are you? Hope your stream is going well. Check it out. Give them a follow, help them out. There you go. All right, guys, I will see you when I see you. In my chat, and then I'm going to refresh. See you over on the other side.